Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. I'm Kalikaiz. Today I'm playing Blue-White Familiars again. Last time I played a list with 8 cantrips, and this time I'm playing a list that basically has 12 cantrips. That's because we're playing 4 Preordained, 4 Ponder, and the Modern Age as a 4 of. In order to make this happen, I'm going down to 18 lands, which is a little bit sketchy, but I do have 2 Lorien revealed as 2 pseudo lands in the deck. I really like playing the Modern Age because it allows you to have flyers, plus it allows you to main deck your deep analysis for additional kind of value plays. And then your foil can pitch your deep analysis, which is a pretty neat thing as well. I'm playing 2 Murmuring Mystics in the main deck with 2 Archaeomancers, and the rest is pretty similar to the other decks. I actually ended up just trimming the Contaminated Landscape, and I'm playing 2 Ash Barrens, 4 Chancery, a Floodplain, 2 Islands, a Mire, and then 8 Islands. In the sideboard, I've got 4 Dust to Dust for Affinity, an additional 2 Revoke Existence because I really want to beat Affinity, and I'm not a fan of them having lands. I also have 2 Prohibit, which is quite good versus Fairies. Modern Age, also good versus Fairies. Negate is pretty good versus Lead the Stampede decks or something like Bogles. We have Counterspell as a catch-all, and 4 Hydroblast. I think this is my favorite way to play Familiars, a very heavily cantrip-based list. And I'm just excited to get in and get some matches in with my favorite deck probably that I've ever played in Pauper, which is Familiars. Hopefully you enjoy. We'll see you in the matches. Brave New Worlds in Philadelphia is hosting a Pauper 1K on April 27th. The prizes are going to go up if we get more than 25 players. Check out all the details in the description. Thanks for watching. Did you know you could get sideboard guides on patreon.com/Kalikaiz? And did I mention you can get early access to videos on the YouTube page in the membership section? And if you like these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. Round 1, we're on the play versus Debus. This seems fine, actually. We have turn 1 Fateful, then we can get going with the Familiar and Snap and Modern Age, all these good things. Generally, Faithful is there as a way to stall against your opponent. Very good versus red decks. This person has been playing for a while. They're the 20th anniversary avatar of a bear cub. So maybe a few years on Magic Online. We'll play a Plains, get the Faithful on the table, and let them go. Our opponent plays a Plains and a Laguna Band Gang. Laguna Band Trailblazer, not a Laguna Band Gang. We're going to go ahead and Chancery picking up the Plains. Our deck is pretty good against Heroic because of the snaps. We're not going to attack. We do have to wait for a moment that they tap out if we're going to land a snap, though. So if they don't tap out here, we probably just Familiar plus the Modern Age and just discard whatever is on top of our deck, because I do want the Mole Drifters. Our opponent is generally playing a deck that would have some number of protection spells. They play Homestead Courage, put a counter on it, gains Vigilance. I'm not going to block because there is a Flash enchantment that makes it deal damage via its toughness. And they're actually going to go in on the solid footing. So I was prepared for this, but it kind of, our opponent was not prepared for what's going to happen to them. They play the Familiar, they lose their creature, they lose their solid footing, and then I think I can play the Modern Age, discarding Modern Age. That seems like a fine play. Let's see what we draw off the top. And I can discard Mole Drifter because I have Mortuary Mire, or discard the Modern Age. I'll probably discard the Modern Age and then look to potentially evoke the Mole Drifter if I don't find a land, and then put the Mole Drifter on top with the Mortuary Mire. So this card dealt us a ton of damage. I was definitely aware of it, and I think that this is the kind of thing that shows the power of Pauper, is that if you know what your opponent might play because you have format knowledge, you can definitely not get got by some things. They still have the Homestead Courage in the graveyard, which can put a counter on their creature and still make it a 2/4 because this gets a counter anytime that they cast a spell targeting it. They Blessing it. Okay. I'll probably give it protection from blue, but right now that means I can block with my Faithful. They'd have to have Mutagenic. We draw. We drew a Chancery and a Lorien. So I think it's kind of a tough call. I think I want all these draw spells. I'm just going to discard the Mole Drifter, evoke another Mole Drifter, see what happens. I might hit an Ephemerate. It's kind of unlikely. We did not. That's fine. We will go ahead and put The mire on top and draw the Mole Drifter. I guess that was my original plan. But the problem is now I can't Drifter Flicker Drifter. I have no way to deal with this creature now that they have the blue flash enchantment, or the protection from blue on it. So I could, though, block with my familiar and flicker it in an Archaeomancer, so I could still get a block in. Because if they can't give it protection from white, as I would just, that would get rid of their Benevolent Blessing. Maybe not, I don't know. You put Aegis on this thing. This is a 4-power creature. Doesn't remove ores and equipment you control that are already attached to it. Okay. They tap my Faithful. If they have another solid footing, I'm pretty hosed. I'm going to get in for 9, which is quite a bit. So I guess I just play out my Mole Drifter. We're going to have to block with one of the white creatures, but I draw another Faithful. So I can Chancery and return the Mire and pass the turn. Blocking with the Faithful. Then I can go Faithful this turn, play the Murmuring Mystic. But another Benevolent Blessing giving a protection from white. So that does kill me. GG. So Thraben Charm or Destroy Evil would have been pretty good in this matchup. Even a Dawnbringer Cleric, but I didn't have those. So we want the negates, prohibits maybe. Can get rid of the foil. Get rid of the Murmuring Mystic. And then we want to bring in some Revoke Existences, getting rid of maybe an Ephemerate. Because if I could get rid of their protection spell and snap their creature, I would be okay. I didn't block that turn because I didn't expect them to have double Benevolent Blessing, but if, you know, they had it in hand. These things happen. Okay, we're trying again. I'm on the play. I have Island Cantrip. I'm going to keep it. Finding a white source is amazing here because I could Familiar into Ephemerate on the Mole Drifter. Even if I find a blue source, I'll have Negate, but that's not something I really want to be playing on my turn 2. Probably not, anyway. Our opponent mulligans to 6. Okay, Island, Preordain. Okay. So we have top, planning to play a turn 2 Familiar, and then we will play out either the Revoke Existence or Chancery the Plains and hold up Negate. They play a Sentinel's Eyes, giving their creature Vigilance. So maybe they have the solid footing again. Homestead Courage. It is a 4/8. Brutal. Getting in real fast. Okay. So we'll play the Chancery and pick up the Plains. They play a Plains. Homestead Courage. Okay. It's getting bigger and bigger. 6 damage right now. They have 3 cards in hand. Plays a Hyena Umbra. That's 8 damage. We're probably going to have to block with our Mole Drifter. Getting in for 8. Okay. Maybe I can draw a Snap. Through a Chancery. So we evoke the Drifter. We draw 2. I did draw a Snap. But they could have a protection spell, so I'm going to Ephemerate. Okay, we have a lot of snaps now. I think we have to wait. I'm going to discard the Chancery. This is a tough situation. Maybe it's just the Faithful. Kind of a weird thing. Because now we have Snap lined up. They're getting in. I'll block with my Mole Drifter. We can... I guess we can't go for an end of turn Snap. We're going to rebound the Ephemerate on the Familiar. I think I cycled, grab an island. Now I have multiple snaps and a negate. I should be able to get rid of their creature. I wonder if I want to start the fight on their upkeep. I think yes. Although if a snap resolves, then I can play the Archaeomancer and get back the Ephemerate. So maybe it's just better to do it now. Our opponent was AFK for like 5 minutes. We'll play my island. Snap the Laguna Band. They just didn't have an answer. Okay. So we untap. We'll go Archaeomancer. Grab the Ephemerate. And then Ephemerate. And grab the Snap. So I guess they're dead here. They play the Laguna Band again. Sacred Cat, okay. Alright, my turn. So now I want to use the Lorien Revealed. We'll get back the Ephemerate. I'll Ephemerate. Get back the Lorien Revealed. Play the Chancery. Take out this. We'll go ahead and snap your Laguna Band. Untap. Snap the Sacred Cat. Untap again. And then hardcast the Lorien. Draw some cards. We find a Ponder. I'll play Ponder. I'll just take the Deep Analysis. Draw 2 cards. And pass a turn. We'll get rid of the plains and an island. The Revoke Resistance is kind of probably not very good here either. Our opponent plays a Sacred Cat. Fine. They're taking very long pauses. Laguna Band again. Alright, my turn. We can do Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Return the Ephemerate. And I think I'm going to Deep Analysis, going to 5. Ponder. We'll take the Faithful. And then put the Lorien Revealed on top. Play Island. Play the Faithful. Snap here. Or Ephemerate here. Maybe I don't have to do that right now. It's probably worth doing it. Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Get back. Snap. Snap the Laguna Band. Just expecting them to have something to do. But they still don't. So I'll pass the turn. And I can get rid of this 3rd Chancery. I don't really need it. Usually you would take the extra Chanceries if you have more spells that you want to cast, or you just don't have more lands. But since we have land drops lined up, I don't think it matters. Our opponent's turn. They play a Laguna Band. They also played a Plains. So they really don't have anything going on still. Ethereal Armor is fine. Plays a 2nd Ethereal Armor. We'll just snap the Sacred Cat. Hopefully they scoop to this. Pass the turn. Maybe I don't need to pass because I want to counterspell the Sentinel's Eyes. They play the Sacred Cat again. Okay, it's fine. We Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. And return the Ephemerate. We have Lorien Revealed on top. Hardcast the Lorien. Draw 3. Play a land. Play a Modern Age. We will discard a Revoke Resistance. And then pass the turn. So the Modern Age allows me to filter while also giving me an attacker. And that's how I'm going to close the game. They can play the Sentinel's Eyes from the graveyard by escaping it, exiling 2 other cards. And their goal was to use the Sacred Cat. But I'm just going to probably Ephemerate for snap or something. Might even just block and Ephemerate, getting back the Lorien Revealed. I still have Prohibit and Negate for whatever's in their hand. It's more likely that they time out than anything else happens. Our opponent goes to attacks. Okay. They didn't do anything. We'll Ephemerate. I think that they can use the protection spell on my creature to make it not be able to use the Ephemerate. So we have to be worried about that. Just something to consider. My turn, we Ephemerate and get back Ephemerate. So sometimes people ask me how they can optimize their Magic Online experience. And you can see that I put the stack window up here, the triggers windows down here. A lot of it has to do with making sure you optimize, like the distance, mousing around and clicking and stuff. We're going to get rid of a Revoke, play another Faithful, start with a Ponder, see if there is a Familiar in there. Come on, opponent. Let's do this. No Faithful, but I found a 2nd Archaeomancer. I think I'm going to shuffle. Or no Familiar, I meant. Let's snap the Sacred Cat again, because that's a life gain creature. Just kind of annoying to have to deal more damage. Untap. I'll cast the Lorien Revealed. Still keeping double white open in case I draw a Familiar. There's a Fam. So now I can play the Familiar. Play Modern Age. That will discard the Chancery. Play the Island. And then I'll pass. On the next turn, I'm all set up. I mean, I could have gone Drifter Ephemerate, but now they have 2 cards in hand that I might have to deal with. And I want to have double Counterspell. I guess I could also Counterspell the cat, and then they have to Embalm it, and I can snap it again, getting rid of it forever. Sentinel's Eyes does not matter to me. Hyena Umbra also doesn't matter. So they have only one more spell that would matter in their hand, because the other one is the cat. So they're attacking, we get to block, and then I can Ephemerate, which stops me from having a blocker, but doesn't stop their creature from being blocked. We get back the snap, and then I will just, we have another Modern Age going to pop off here. I'm going to cycle, I'm going to grab a Plains, because I plan to discard it. They don't play anything else. We ephemerate the Archaeomancer. We return the Ephemerate. Okay, so now I have Ghostly Flicker. That means I have infinite life with double familiar because I can flicker an island and that will be a mana neutral play. We get a Vector Glider in play. We'll snap a Laguna Band. And now I guess I'm just going to counter all their creatures. We'll untap, cast a Mole Drifter. If they don't have creatures in play, they can't win, right? Play this. I do have Flicker now. Play Archaeomancer, grabbing a snap, and then pass the turn. At this point, because we're so far ahead, it's probably best to snap the Faithfuls. That minimizes my clock usage. And I can also discard them and use them for... Alright, we'll counter this. Doink. We can use the Faithfuls for recurring my graveyard if I draw the Mortuary Mire. We play a Laguna Band. We'll Ephemerate. And get back the Prohibit. One reason to hold up extra negate spells is they have a card that can exile a card from a graveyard. Counter that one. So it's turn 10. We just sat around playing defense for a while. Now I use my Ghostly Flicker. They have one card left in hand. This is going to return Prohibit and Ghostly Flicker. The Ephemerate is just better at doing that counterspell lock loop, but Ghostly Flicker works with double Archaeomancer in play. And because we have Ephemerate now, you don't have to play 3 Archaeomancers, which actually opens up space for the Murmuring Mystics. We'll counterspell the Sacred Cat. They embalm it. I mean, not unexpected. We'll go to end step, snap the Sacred Cat, untap, and then use 2 of my blue mana. Okay, they finally conceded. They really, really quickly conceded there. I don't know what was causing them all the time suck previously. We'll just resubmit. Game 3, we're on the draw. This hand doesn't have any early plays, so we have to mulligan, though I almost clicked keep there. Here we have great things going on. We have to discard, we have to get rid of 1 card, right? So it's going to be the Deep Analysis or the Modern Age. Maybe it's the Modern Age. I think I want to use the Ponder on turn 1. I'll get rid of the Modern Age. If I can find a familiar, then I can go snap plus prohibit pretty easily. They put a Laguna Band on the table. Land, Ponder. Another snap, another island, another Modern Age. Okay, so I think I'm fine with keeping these. Our plan is we're going to make another land drop, try to get this thing off the table, or hold a prohibit. Okay, so they've made their creature bigger, but I can just snap it and then prohibit it on the way down. They get in for 4, but it's off the table now. Pass the turn. It's possible that I don't want to counter this, but I don't want them to have a way to... I'm just going to counter it. Because if they had like the protection spell, it could be a problem for me. They play another Laguna Band. Okay. They get in for 1. Play the Chancery. Pick up this. And then we'll Modern Age. Looks like I'm discarding the Deep Analysis. If I can snap their creature, I can cast a Mole Drifter. They have a Sky Guard. It's a 1/1 at the moment. We're going to draw and discard. I'll discard the Plains. We'll start by trying to snap their Sky Guard because it costs them 2 mana. They're F6'd. So let's just go Mole Drifter, trying to get more lands. This next turn we can Archaeomancer and then return the Prohibit, and we should be okay for going snap plus Prohibit on a different turn. Our opponent, Ethereal Armor on the Trailblazer. Do they have a protection spell? They do not. They play a Sky Guard out. They just wanted to get in for 2 here. Fine. Okay, we have another land. I can go Faithful. Get rid of this thing again. Just 2 for 1 in them all over the place. We untap. We play Archaeomancer, and we grab a snap again. Play the Floodplain. I'm just going to attack in. I'm going to... I mean, if they draw a protection spell, so be it. If they don't draw a protection spell, I can snap their creature. They play a Laguna Band again. They can't attack. I'll start by drawing 2 cards with a deep analysis. We have a preordain, so I can hold up snap now. Looking for a familiar or a flicker or something. More snaps is fine. I'll take it. Then I'll get in for 2. Our opponent goes to 16. No blocks. And they're holding 2 cards in hand, but it doesn't look like they're attacking, which is fine by me. Another Muldrifter. I will attack in then. Send in 4. This is a 4-turn clock. They take it. Play the land and a Muldrifter. We go back to 14. And we draw 2 cards. Our Revoke Existence is pretty medium. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand. They do not attack. I can't afford to cycle the Ash Barrens on end step there because they could have another Benevolent Blessing. We'll grab an island off the Ash Barrens and attack in. I could have preordained pre-combat to look for like a flicker or something. I think the likelihood that they block here is low. They take the 6. Let's preordain. Another Muldrifter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a Ponder. Okay. So I will top both of these. Play the Ponder. Just kind of setting up my draw. Maybe I don't want the Muldrifter, but I probably do. There we go, the Familiar. So we'll top in this order, putting the Familiar and then the Muldrifter. And not shuffling. And play the Familiar. Now on my next turn, we have 6 power in the air. So we just play the Archaeomancer for the Prohibit, and then snap the Skyguard and attack in for 6. There's probably nothing they can do. They ended up playing a Plains. Familiars tends to beat white decks. They're getting in, no problem. We'll go to 15. Then I will attack. I should play the Archaeomancer first, just to be safe. Okay, they Thraben Charm my graveyard, which is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and try to snap their Crone Skyguard, which will allow me to pick up the snap with the Archaeomancer. So if they wanted to not allow me to have this interaction, they should have waited till my Archaeomancer was already on the field with the trigger targeting a spell. Now I can just attack for 6. If they have the Spirit card that exiles a card from a graveyard and makes a Spirit Flyer token, I can also snap that token. But it looks like we're just going to win by Xaxes on turn 9. We'll see you in round 2. We're here in round 2 versus Bong 0411. Last time I faced them, they were playing Familiars as well, with a Snuff Out version. I'm gonna keep this. Faithful is bad in the main or in my hand, but I do have cantrips and I have Drifter, Ephemerate plus Archaeomancer. Okay, never mind. They're on Voldaren Epicure. At least the Faithful could be good if I find a Plains. So I found Chancery Foil. Can't use these just yet. That's tough. I guess I'll put all these on top. No shuffle. They play a Tomb Raider. They haven't made a second land drop. I'm gonna preordain. We'll top the Modern Age. I think I top, play the Floodplain, and pass the turn. And then this turn I'll play Faithful Chancery. Or maybe just, I don't know, it's tough. I should probably try to get the Modern Age onto the table as soon as possible, and then use the Muldrifter plus Ephemerate plus Foil. So I guess I can play the Modern Age discarding an Ephemerate on turn 3, and then Chancery, and I'll have 4 mana. If I find a snap, I can snap their card and then go Drifter Ephemerate. They get in for 3, and they have a Kuldotha Rebirth. So we will Chancery, pick up the island, play the Modern Age, discard an Ephemerate. And now, if something goes crazy, I can discard the Archaeomancer here. So like if they have a Bushwhacker, they still have the 4 mana. Best draw is definitely a snap. They play a Voldaren Epicure. So that gives them an artifact, and they can get in for 6, putting me to 6. Down a Familiar. Okay, we have to loot. I'll discard a Foil. Then I'll go land, play the Familiar, play the Faithful. We have 2 blockers. We'll take 4. We can still foil a card and then Drifter Ephemerate and hope for finding some way out of this. They're attacking in. Here, if I had Prohibit in my deck, I could just hold a Prohibit and not have to do those discard shenanigans. Block, block. This is 4 damage. We go to 2. They have Chain Lightning. We counter it. Discarding the Archaeomancer. Go to 3 life. Okay, take my turn. Find another Archaeomancer. Let's evoke them. Guess I should leave up the dual land. Evoke. We go to 4 life. We draw 2 cards. We did find a snap. So I can Ephemerate the Mole Drifter. We found a Murmuring Mystic as well. Pretty awesome. So Faithful. Snap a token. We go to 6 life. We untap. And then we should be able to take it from here. Just kind of running away with it as we're now at 8 life and I have a ton of blockers. So for them, they really want to take out the Mole Drifter. It's going to draw me a lot of cards. They're getting in. So I block, 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 block. Keeping the Mole Drifter alive. I don't know. In the face of it and the festivities or something. They play a Synthesizer, finding a mountain. So that's took them till turn 6 to find their second land. There's the end of the festivities that I played around. Awesome. So we get to keep our Mole Drifter. Ephemerate that. We draw another familiar. So play the familiar. Okay, let's just play a random land here. Play the familiar. Play the Archaeomancer. And then we'll return the Ephemerate. Then we can Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. And then return the Snap. Snap the Archaeomancer. And then I'll have blue, white, blue, white open because of the Chancery. Gotta get back to Snap. And then I can Ephemerate the Mole Drifter. Sick. Okay, taking game 1 versus Mono Red is very important. And the foils are not good. Post board. We want the Prohibits and all the Hydroblasts. And then we're going to cut the Ephemerates. And one of the... So we have to consider Deep Analysis is good at digging. But maybe it's just better to... Yeah, let's just cut a Deep Analysis. It sort of depends on if they're a Pyroblast deck, both post board or not, because Pyroblast, you really want the Deep Analysis for forcing through it. Okay, I think this is not a keep. We have cantrips. Like I said, Deep Analysis is kind of medium. We have no currently, like we currently just have Island Tap Land, and we're on the draw. So it'd be better to have a hand that has Hydroblast turn 1, plus like, you'd be like Island, Chancery, Hydroblast would be the greatest. Or like double Hydroblast. So let's try to leverage the London Mulligan, I guess. Let's Mulligan. I actually think this is pretty solid. And we can get rid of Ponder. Because we have a tap land into Modern Age. Our opponent leads on Mountain. So no Tomb Raider turn 1, potentially. Chain Lightning Face. Okay, I'll take that. Floodplain. So the reason I'm fine with the turn 1 Chain Lightning is that they didn't put a creature on the table. And anytime they don't put a creature on the table, that's one less recurring thing that's going to be hitting me. Finding a Hydroblast is awesome. We're going to discard just a Plains. There's a Lackey. They play a land. Bushwhacker. Getting in. Okay, we are going to loot. I'll discard the Barrens. Play the land. Play out the Familiar. And then I guess I'm going to pass. I'm planning on blocking and then prohibiting something because I want to use the prohibits for only 1 mana while I have the Familiar alive. I'm expecting it to probably die, and then I can Hydroblast for 1 mana on a future turn. Letting them untap with the Lackey isn't amazing because they get to draw off of it, but they do have to spend the 3 mana. They're going Lightning Bolt, so I will counter it for 1 mana. They have another Lightning Bolt, so that just gained me 6 life. We're going to have a 2-3 on the next turn, and put another future 2-3 on the table. We find a Lorien Revealed. We will go ahead and Chancery, picking up the Plains. And then Modern Age, most likely discarding the Plains. Okay, a second Hydroblast is quite good. So I could Hydroblast their creature right now, but I think the important thing is to try to keep my thing alive for blocking. Another Bushwhacker, so let's try to Hydroblast it. Okay, they did not have a response, so I will block the Lackey if they attack. They did not attack. Okay. We found a Murmuring Mystic. Or a flicker. I don't think I need the flicker, so I'm going to pass. I would like to be able to resolve this Lorien revealed, but maybe that's too greedy. I'll island cycle and then play a land. This way I can put the Murray Mystic on the table and then have blocks for days. Assuming that the Hydroblast is still good. They're not attacking. They have 2 cards in hand. Second Hydroblast. Okay, Murmuring Mystic. Now I feel like I can attack. Our opponent goes to 18. We do need to draw a card draw spell. They cracked the Lackey to draw a card. It's sort of surprising that they didn't crack the Synthesizer on the previous turn. But the Lackey is a guaranteed card in hand, whereas the Synthesizer is kind of a risky card off the top. They play a Clockwork. That's fine. And a Kuldotha. I'm going to just counter it. Making a bird. They find a Lightning Bolt. So they can Lightning Bolt the Vector Glider. Or like double bolt. They went Bolt Face. Okay, that's sketchy. That's definitely sketchy. We have an Archaeomancer. Okay. So Archaeomancer is going to return, I guess, the Flicker. Maybe it should just be more Hydroblasts. I think I want... I chose the Hydroblast. I meant to take the Flicker, but whatever. Back in. So now I'm dead if they have double burn spell because I only have 1 response. Play a Lackey. Sure. No attacks. Okay. Okay, Godfarrow's Faithful. So that's probably going to win me the game, but I'm not sure yet. I think we can afford to attack with our 2 Vector Gliders. Maybe even just all my creatures. Attack for 5. They go to 11. And now I have an 0-4 that can block the Clockwork. Ponder is great off the top because now I'm going to gain some life going to 7. So they have to have 3 burn spells or Galvanic plus burn spell. If I find another cantrip, then we're good. And this is sort of the way that I built the deck, is just to have tons of cantrips. Let's see. This would put me to 9. I think I'm good. Put the Snap under. Keep the Familiar. No shuffle. We'll play the Familiar. And then next turn I can snap and replay the Archaeomancer and grab the Flicker and then have a bunch of life. Let's attack for 5. And next turn we have 6 in the air. So they have to actually kill me on their turn. We have 2 responses. They crack another Lackey. They have 5 mana. They're going to have potentially 5 spells, so they could definitely do it. We're hoping that they just drew creatures. They play a land. They have 4 cards in hand. Galvanic Blast. I have to respond with a Hydroblast. Cannot let them deal me 4 damage. So what they need is 7 instant speed damage right now. They have Pyroblast. We go to 8. I will counter again. I'll go to 9. If they have double Galvanic in hand, okay, they did not. They could have beat me with double Galvanic there. But we win the game. They did not have the nuts, and we were able to survive. We'll see in round 3. Okay, round 3 versus Muka. Seems fine. We got a cantrip. Island Ponder Keep. There's some risk to this hand because we're highly interactive. We have the Archaeomancer. The Suns get familiar without white mana. But I think that having built the deck with a lot of cantrips, we have a lot of opportunities. I like just slamming the cantrip early. Just start moving. Just start doing stuff. Familiars just take actions. So Chancery, plus Island, plus Modern Age. So I'm keeping these. Chancery is like just such an amazing card because we can Familiar, have the Chancery going. We can also just turn to the Modern Age and discard that extra Island, which might be a better play. Or put it on Forest. So if they're bogling, this is a bad time. Implement of Ferocity. Okay, so they might be on this new like mono green Stompy deck. So I think I want to get the Familiar going. And that deck plays bargain cards. Be interesting. Yes, it is the mono green Stompy deck. So this was a deck that 5-0'd by Molax. You can bring it up so you can see it. They use Brave the Wilds. They bargain away the Implement of Ferocity. They make their Citadel into a 3/3 haste indestructible. Unfortunately for them, we can go Familiar, Snap, Archaeomancer, get back to Snap. And that sets them back quite a bit. They put a land into their hand, but it doesn't go to the battlefield. So, sorry about this. This is sort of the same scenario as the Heroic player where you just put them back a ton. And then we just Guess we could Archaeomancer on a future turn, but I might as well use my mana now. So let's Mancer back the snap. Our opponent plays an Ichor Wellspring and passes the turn. Still has the Forest in hand. We have a second Familiar. Let's go Familiar, attack for 1, play the Modern Age. This gives them a target for the Troublemaker Oofs that are in their deck. I'll discard the island. Pass. So this is their deck. They've got Young Wolves to sacrifice, Bayou Groff, Troublemaker Oof as a 2-of, 4 Hooting Mandrills, Brave the Wilds, Vines of Vastwood we have to watch out for. They have Malevolent Rumble, Ram Through. This is how I knew it was that deck, was the Implement of Ferocity plus the Darksteel Citadel. They play a Colony Garden. The next turn they'll have double green. They've discarded a Hooting Mandrills to hand size. We're going to loot. I think I discard... I guess I can discard the Floodplain because this allows me to ponder and shuffle. I will just... Let's see. Flicker doesn't really get me anywhere. Put this on the bottom. I'll just put the Preordain. No shuffle. We'll cycle. I don't think the Flicker is very good at the moment. Grab an island. Cast a Preordain. Another Chancery and a Modern Age. So I'll top and top. Play the Chancery. Picking up the island. This gives me a lot more fodder for my Modern Age to discard to, which is great because it cleans up the hand. It's sort of like Brainstorm effects, where you're using the Brainstorm to make your hand better, and the Modern Age looting away excess lands is quite good for us. Okay, they've got 4 mana. What could they do? They could Vines of Vastwood with Kicker. Bequeathal, maybe. At this point, if they bargain and exile my Modern Age, it's fine. They play a Bayou Groff. Okay, that's fine. Question is whether they are going to be able to protect their Bayou Groff. Because we have double snap. I'll start with the Modern Age. We rummage, or we loot and discard an island. Let's attempt to snap the Bayou Groff. They have a single Vines. Let's see if they have 2 Vines. Double snap. And if they have second Vines, it is a bummer, but we can hard cast the Muldrifter. They did not have a second Vines. We untap both of these. So the Bayou Groff needed a creature to sacrifice in order to play, or you have to pay it for 5 mana, which they could hard cast it next turn, but once again, they're quite set back. Another Mancer. So we can play land Mancer, or just go Murmuring Mystic. I'm going to play the Murmuring Mystic. And then I think I play the island anyway. We attack in for 1. Then next turn we'll get to keep the one of the top 2 cards, whichever one is better. They go to 17. They Malevolent Rumble. So now that they have a creature token, they could sacrifice the creature token to the Bayou Groff and put it back on the table. Malevolent Rumble is pretty good at doing that. And they took a Colony Garden. Okay. And they played the Colony Garden. So we don't know what's in their hand anymore. Looks like they're going to Bayou Groff, sacrificing the plant token. Trying to come back into the game. This thing doesn't have Trample, which is important. It's just a 5/4 beater for 2 mana. A really, really aggro dog. Whereas the Hooting Mandrills does have Trample. But now they've tapped out. We draw. Discarding the Deep Analysis or the Snap. I discard the Deep Analysis. We'll draw 2. Make a bird. We make a bird and then we get to draw the cards. Just due to how it works. Let's evoke the Muldrifter. This will allow me to actually make mana with the Chanceries. And since I tap both of them, we snap the Muldrifter. Then comes back to hand. We untap the Chanceries. Now I have extra mana to cast the Faithful. I think it makes sense to play the Archaeomancer, grabbing the snap. Because I don't think I actually care about their creatures now. I can block 1 and the other one's just a 4/4. We grab the snap. We play another island. Evoke another Muldrifter. Gain some more life. This deck just goes really hard once it starts going. And we can snap this Muldrifter. Second Muldrifter is sick. We have so much white mana floating, we can hardcast both of them. Ephemerate would also be pretty good. So let's see if we can draw an Ephemerate off the first Muldrifter. Here it comes. Drifter number 1. Still floating 2 white mana. Can play any Familiar, Faithful, or Ephemerate. And I found Ghostly Flicker. That means I have infinite birds and infinite life. Let's see what my opponent does to this. All right, I'm demonstrating a loop. They're not going to respond, which is fine. So I just want to make enough creatures to kill them, I guess. I think that they are just going to F6. Okay. Let's make like a bunch of, I'll make a bunch of tokens and let you know on the other side. Oh, one thing to note. So here I am. This is kind of annoying the way that they've coded this, but I want to put all my triggers in a way that's really easy to click because I'm going to be doing so much clicking. So the first thing I'm going to do is click the flicker, then the Mancer, then the land, double clicking the land to use it for mana. And then the Murmuring Mystic trigger, I've placed it so that it's right on the spot where the land was. So click here. Here's the Murmuring Mystic trigger. I just click it without having to move around very much. Or zooming. One benefit of Murmuring Mystic over Sage's Road Denizen is that Murmuring Mystic actually is useful outside of the combo turn, where Sage's Road Denizen would win the game in this spot. We wouldn't have to pass the turn, as it would mill my opponent, but it's just a 2/3 that doesn't really do very much. Having infinite birds and infinite life in paper would definitely win you the game, and against the Stompy deck anyway. I think that's enough birds. I'm going to cast my Mole Drifter, and go to attacks, and attack with my Mole Drifters that were, and my Vector Glider that were already on the table. So I'll send in for 4. I have a very large amount of birds. I don't actually know how many though. I'm at 48 life. And we have no Ephemerate. So at this point, in order to maximize my clock, I'm yielding until my second main phase, which will auto skip through my turn up until the combat. I can just select the attackers and then pass. They Rancor their creature. They can try to like ram through some stuff, but it doesn't really affect my clock as far as I know. They ram through, killing the Murmuring Mystic. That's fine. I wasn't going to attack with it anyway. They're currently at 13 life. Are they going to attack? They choose to not attack. We have 17. We have a bajillion damage. They scoop. Sweet. And because I was yielding, I was still at 1946 on clock for quite a long time there. No big deal. All right, so don't have any anti-aggro in my sideboard. It's potentially foil is okay. Let's see. Let's look at their deck. Healer of the Glade doesn't matter. They do have relics. They have ram throughs. Troublemaker Oof doesn't matter that much. So maybe we just change some of the foils into prohibits and a negate. Or we go 2 prohibits and 1 foil. Because foil is very similar to just siding in a counterspell, as you can cast it for UU once you have a familiar in play. So I think it's fine. Okay. Our opponent's deck is relatively slow. We can ponder and then shuffle for the dual land. And we do have Drifter Ephemerate. It's pretty slow here, so this is a risky keep, I think. The Young Wolf turn 1. So they could turn 2 Bayou Groff, which means we have to try to ponder into a snap. Faithful Mystic Prohibit. I will take these. I'm drawing the Faithful. I'm going to draw the Mystic, or draw the Prohibit, and then I have Mystic coming up after that. So if they Groff here, I have to like shuffle. But I'm hoping that I can hold up the Prohibit for their Groff. They have Darksteel Citadel. And they Malevolent Rumble. They brought in Sandstorm, so I think that this person doesn't really understand the matchup, unfortunately. They took Tree of Tales. I'll play my island and pass. So the plan is they're going to play the tree. We're hopefully going to cycle for the duel. They get in for 1. I should probably double cycle, actually. Malevolent Rumble. Fine. So they found Hooting Mandrills, which is not good. Because that's a 4/4. That's not going to cost them 2 mana. One reason to bring in Counterspell, maybe. Now they can just play the Hoots. So do I want to draw... I still think I want to not draw the Mystic at this time. Because I need to be able to get my lands going. I'm just so slow at getting the Floodplain in play. The Lorians are the worst possible way to get your mana in play. Getting an island is fine. Okay, our opponent has 5 damage. This Hoots is already in play. I might just die before I cast my Drifter Ephemerate, so it's pretty greedy, I guess. If they Bayou Groff here, I can counterspell it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can. Still, it costs 1 mana, or 2 mana. Counter that. Then we'll just untap Drifter Ephem. But they could Vines my Drifter Ephemerate. Or Ram through. We have a Modern Age, so let's go Faithful into the Modern Age. And I think I'm probably pitching the Ephemerate unless I draw Chancery. Then I could ditch the island. We'll discard the Ephemerate, play land, Preordain, going back to 15 life. Mancer, Preordain. So I think I bottom and bottom. I'm kind of needing lands here. There's another land. If I could snap the Hoots, that'd be good. I'm pretty worried about Vines of Vastwood. They're just attacking with everything. I will not do anything here. I'm just going to let it happen. There's a Colony Garden. They have 2 cards in hand. We loot. Discard the Ponder. I'm going to Ephemerate, Drifter Ephemerate. I know it's a bit of a risk, because they could have Vines or Ram through. But then I would know it's out of their hand. Try Ephemerate in the Muldrifter. That just resolves. Found a foil. I can go land and pass. Now I'm less afraid because I can cycle for the foil and discard the Ponder. Just the force of will. It's so good. They're going to go after my creature. I will cycle for an island. And then just go ahead and foil it. Maybe I should keep the Ponder though. I'll discard the Ponder though. I don't know. Get rid of here. I don't think the Ponder is doing enough for me, whereas I would rather have the Muldrifter probably. Does Counterspell resolve? Yes, it does. I get in for 6 again. I'm a little bit nervous. I think next turn I'm fine with shoving the Muldrifter in front of things. Well, it's Ephemerate the Muldrifter. I just worry that they have a Vines. Okay, so now I can play out my Sunscape and then evoke a Muldrifter. We go to 6 life. I'll snap the Hooty Hoots. See if this resolves. Do they have a Vines? They did not have a Vines. So now let's flicker both Drifters. Drawing 4 cards. We have another Snap and a Preordain and a Modern Age. I think I'm just going to Modern Age. Discarding the Plains. Now I'm free to just block. And then later I can try to dig for my Archaeomancer again. Plus next turn I can Chancery. They're going to Hardcast. I know that they have the Hooting Mandrills in hand. They play Troublemaker Oof to get rid of one of my Vector Glider Modern Ages. They get rid of the one that's a creature. So this one still will get me some loot value then. And what do they sacrificed some sort of token. I wasn't sure which one. I think it was the Scion. Plays the Mandrills again. 1 card in hand. We draw a Prohibit, so we're pretty in the clear. We can discard a Chancery, lay out the Faithful. Everything starts with F. And play Chancery, bounce the Mandrills. Just picking up the Plains, bounce the Hoots, gain 2 life. We'll untap. And then I think I should Preordain before I play the Muldrifter, just in case I want to get rid of some cards. But maybe not, because usually I say that I want to get my blind card draw in before I use my card selection. So this is probably a better plan. We put the Muldrifter in play, and then we use the Preordain once we know what we want. Okay, so we found a Familiar. I think I should still hold up Prohibit, though. Ponder. I'll Ponder first. Maybe I don't want the top 3 cards at all. I do want the top 3 cards. We'll keep them. Then Preordain. Put the island on the bottom. Top the Preordain because it gives me bird tokens. I was just using my mana, just kind of cantripping and basically just use that as a cycle. Getting rid of 1 land. Here I can go Familiar, Mystic, make a bird, hold up the Prohibit. They play the Hoots again. They don't really have an out here, I don't think. Maybe a Relic, so the Prohibit could counter a Relic. Doesn't, yeah, I have 3, all my flickers are in the graveyard. Ghostly Flicker, Ephemerate, and Ephemerate. Because I had the 2 Ephemerates in hand in the beginning, and I discarded 1 of them. Another Faithful. Familiar. I don't think I need the Faithful. Play the Mystic. Play a Preordain. Make a bird. Okay, birds on the table. Another Mystic and a Murmuring, a Deep Analysis. So I'm just going to top and top. This can help me close the game out. Play the Mystic. It's going to be harder to resolve the triggers though. Because if you have two things, when you have a bunch of triggers on the stack in Magic Online, if you get rid of all of except one type of triggers, then they auto stack if you have the auto stack abilities. So since I'll have 2 and 2, it'd be harder. But our opponent has conceded, and we're on to round 4. All right, we have no card draw, but we have a Faithful Familiar Mancer. I'm going to keep it. Our opponent has a Burn avatar, but it's a 20th anniversary avatar, so it could mean anything. The lead on Great Furnace Tomb Raider, so it means Burn. Gets in for 2. We'll go to 18. Being on the draw in game 1 versus Burn is really scary because we really need to win game 1. Being on the draw is just generally bad. What do I want to do here? Pass the turn. I think I cycle for an island. If I draw into a cantrip, I'll go Faithful plus cantrip. If I don't, I'll play the Chancery and discard the plains. Cycle into a plains, I mean. Okay, now they have 4 power on the table. This Epicure essentially has haste because it pinged me right away. So I'll go to 13. Things are happening way too fast. Cycle. We're looking for cantrips. Grab the plains. I've done one thing. Oh, okay. So I will play out the Faithful. Pass the turn. They currently have Galvanic Blast online, so I might as well block with the Tomb Raider. And they just had the Bushwhacker. Yikes. I'll block the 3/2, taking 6 damage. So I'm not sure what the best plan here is. I think we have to go Faithful, Snap, play Familiar. That gives me the most life in blockers. They have an End the Festivities, Chain Lightning. So my creature has gained me 6 life. I'll play Faithful, land, snap the 2/2, untap, play another blocker. They play a Synthesizer, finding a mountain. They have Tomb Raider and 1 unknown in hand. They're going to discard. So they had 1 mountain in hand. Now they have another unknown in hand. Tomb Raider. So we can play around, specifically End the Festivities by blocking like this. Taking 2 damage. We go to 7 life. They're passing the turn. Do I draw an island? I draw another Modern Age. So I don't know if it's better. I think I want the Archaeomancer on the table now, so I have more blockers. So Archaeomancer grabbing the snap, go back to 8 life. And we just let Magic Online pick up the snap for us, which is pretty nice. I don't have to do anything. And I'm not attacking. So best case scenario is they crack the Synthesizer and find a dud. And then we can snap their token. They play an Epicure. This looks like they have another Bushwhacker to me. They discard. Okay, so they did not have a Bushwhacker. They found the Bushwhacker. Easy game. Easy game. We'll get rid of a creature, block, and take 6 damage. We find a Mole Drifter. So should I Drifter snap? I should probably just take a creature off the table. Untap. Play the Mole Drifter. And I can still play 2 Modern Ages. Draw. Play 1 Modern Age. I'll discard the plains. This is a great draw with the foil. So put a Chancery in play, pick up the island, and then I will hold the foil with the Modern Age here. I mean, once again, foil in this position would have been way better as a Prohibit, because we could have just held a Prohibit and countered something. But a lot of the times foil is just 0 mana, make sure I don't die. 1, 2, 3. So if I block, we're going to take 2 damage here. They'll have 1 card left in hand. So we have to counterspell a removal spell. They use the Synthesizer. Finding a mountain. So now they can still play their 2 spells. Plays a land. Yeah, that was the mountain they found. They play a Lackey, which is fine. I can block the Lackey with my Mole Drifter. They are attacking. So I'll block here, and block here. We'll take 3 going to 1. I should have paid more attention because I could have almost just died there. Okay, we go to 1. We have 3 blockers. So let's now discard the Modern Age, play a land, play a Mole Drifter. Puts me to 2. And then let's ponder, go to 3 life. I have a Mortuary Mire. I'll take the Mortuary Mire. No shuffle. Cycle. We'll grab the Floodplain and pass. I can block, 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 block. Or block, 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 block. 2 damage. So I just have to counter whatever it is. And then I can mire back the Familiar, or the Mancer. Get into the Mancer with the Preordain. Mancer into Snap. Snap, replay the Mole Drifter. Play a Clockwork. So would this kill me? I block 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yes, it would. So counterspell this. Pitch the lands. We go to 4 life. Now if they want to attack in, they're going to lose 2 of their creatures. And I'll have another creature on the next turn. They do want to attack in. I'll block, block, and then, come on. There we go. Block the Goblin and the Epicure. We'll take 2 going to 2. We find a Snap off the top. That is big. So I'm going to Mire, returning the Mancer, and then attack with the Mole Drifter. Just get my Pex in. They got 18. We snap the Mole Drifter. Untap. Replay it. Mole Drifter comes down. I have Archaeomancer and Mystic. So I could just Mystic into Preordain, or go Archaeomancer, snap and replay Drifter again, which I think is it's the same amount, but I could draw land. So Mancer. Oh, actually I will have 1 extra mana anyway, so I can still cast a Preordain. So we get the snap. We snap this Mole Drifter again. Untap. Cast the Mole Drifter. Go to 7 life. Floating a blue. Cast a cantrip. And we find Faithful in the snap. All those are good. All good stuff. We're at 8 life. They have 1 card in hand. We got it. We got it. Taking game 1 versus red again, I think. Yes. Sideboard strategy remains the same. We're bringing out 5 cards. Bringing in 4 Hydros. And 2 Prohibits. And cutting on 1 Deep Analysis. So 6 cards for 6 cards. Okay, we have a 0 lander because both of our lands don't stay in play. Now I've opened up 3 lands with Familiar Ponder. I think I keep and then get rid of... So I can get rid of the Ponder or the Modern Age. We'll go land, Hydroblast, land, Modern Age. I think that's maybe better than the Ponder then. Because having a blocker is way more important than just fixing up my hand. The Great Furnace into a Tomb Raider, a Lackey. So do I want to just Hydroblast a Lackey right away? I think it's better to wait until their next attack step. They get in for 1. I draw Ponder anyway. Sweet. We'll pass with Hydroblast open. Clockwork, I will counter. Keeping them on a low number of creatures in play. Plus the Clockwork is just so much value. Alright, they did not find their second land. They get in for 1. Ah, they had the land the whole time. Maybe they wanted to Kuldotha Rebirth the Clockwork. Okay, so... I think I just cycled the Lorien Revealed here since I drew it. We could put the white land into play. Next turn we have Familiar Modern Age. They're likely to kill the Familiar if I do that, but it's not terrible. Oh boy. They Reckless Impulse, or Ren's Resolve, fighting a Pyroblast. And then they Kuldotha Rebirth, getting in for 1. So let's... play the Familiar, get rid of a creature, untap. We'll cast the Ponder. Faithful, I'll take it. We'll put the Faithful on the table, no shuffle. I have Faithful, and then next turn I'm drawing them a Mole Drifter. Their Pyroblast is no good here. Their Pyroblast is no good here. They play an Epicure. They can target my creatures with the Pyroblast if they want. I think I'm going to block with both. They're incentivized to kill the Faithful. So if they do bolt something, they would do it that there. If they really wanted the Familiar dead, they could have just bolted it pre-combat and gotten in and gotten a guaranteed 2 damage. And then if they were banking on having the Galvanic online, it's fine. Like, Galvanic would be 2 damage right now. Yep, it did take out the Familiar. So we'll play Modern Age. Looks like they have a Pyroblast in hand. No. We have to discard a land, unfortunately. Play the land. Pass the turn. Hopefully I draw another land. Maybe I should have played around the Galvanic Blast, because here now I can't cast the Muldrifter. But I can at least evoke it for a life and 2 cards. Synthesizer. They find a Lackey. They're building up some creatures. They have 5 in play, so this is 4 damage minimum right now. And I took out my Ephemerate, so it's not like I can drift or Ephemerate at all. We go to 14, and then 12. First strike and everything. Okay, they don't have a Bolt. We're going to discard a Modern Age, cast a Ponder, go to 13. Sadly, I think I should shuffle this. I don't think drawing all these lands in a row is great. Play the island, pass the turn. Next turn I can cast the Muldrifter. Maybe I should have evoked it here. I don't think so. We're taking 4, going to 9. Then next turn I'll have 3 blockers. I think the pivotal mistake was using the Familiar as a block. That's really set me behind. They have a Bolt at any point. Killing the Faithful is going to probably end my day. Block. So now we go to 9. Do you have anything post-combat? They play a Mountain. Crack a Lackey to draw a card. Okay. We know they're playing Pyroblast now. If I hardcast a Muldrifter and they have a Pyroblast, it's going to feel really bad. They're going to upkeep Pyroblast? I don't understand. Maybe they're going to Lightning Bolt me here on my upkeep. Generally, waiting for your opponent's upkeep is much worse. They have Galvanic. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's dead. It is dead. We found a Faithful. But I think I need to just try to draw 2 cards and put a creature in play. Will it resolve? This is pretty important for me. It does resolve. Okay, next turn we're good. Just have to live through it. They have 2 power. They could Synthesizer crack plus Bushwhacker here. They have a Synthesizer, finding Kuldotha. Oh no. Oh no. Finds Epicure. Okay. I mean, it's not great, but it's not a Bushwhacker, so hopefully they don't have it in hand. If they Bushwhack right now, that is 12 damage. They're discarding looking for the Whacker. They discarded a Mountain. No way! Sick. They got there. They dug hard. They got it done. I think, yeah, my Familiar play ruined it for me. We know they're on Pyroblast, so maybe I should get rid of a Mystic. Bring back in the Deep Analysis. Maybe being on the play, like I said, in game 3 is going to matter, and hopefully win me the game match. Here we go. Mulligan. Oh my god, I almost clicked keep again. Okay. So, I think we get rid of a Prohibit, and then hope for a Chancery. Okay, Muldrifter on the bottom. Take the land. Now my best draw became a Modern Age, or a Chancery, of course, or Hydroblast. They lit on Mountain into an Epicure. I find a Ponder. I think I'm going to Ponder. Finding a Hydroblast is good. Play the land. Pass. Now, I think in the last game, it showed that we just didn't get on the table fast enough. They play a Clockwork. Okay. They're getting in for 2. I'm holding on to my Hydroblast so that I can use it on the next turn. 2 damage I think I can take for a little while. Really, the point of my deck is trying to abuse the cantrips to be able to get stuff done. Chain Lightning. Okay, we're at 14. Preordain. I'm going to bottom. Ponder. Okay. Put the snap down. Take the plains. Play the plains. Pass. I'm in a bad spot. Maybe I should have taken the snap. They get in for 2. So if they have a Kuldotha here, I'm pretty hosed. They play a land. Chain lightning again. Okay, so I think my plan now became play the familiar, keep it alive, then snap their thing, play Mold Drifter. I think I'm just too far behind. I have to pay mana for my cards. Every single one of their cards is 1 mana. Deep Analysis rotting in my hand. They have the Kuldotha. Lightning Bolt. We're at 6. We're at 3. Crazy. Okay. So I block. I go to 2. Okay, block. They have an Epicure to put me to 1. That sucks. So I guess I have to... So what's my best way of winning here? If they have a removal spell and if they have a burn spell in hand, I'm dead. If they don't have a burn spell in hand, they can use the blood tokens. I think I have to not die here. Play to not die. Play to win. Not. I'm gonna be at 1 life. We draw the snap. Try to snap this thing. Okay, they did not bolt their own creature. So I think if I ponder into a faithful, I can live. Ponder. All right, I'm gonna shuffle. Preordain. I'll bottom. Could not. I have another Hydroblast, but it isn't gonna get the job done. GG. I just was too clunky. We'll see you around 5. We're here in round 5 versus Chaotic MTG. They've been playing a lot of like Bogles and random stuff like that. We do have Faithful, Ponder. I think we can keep. We don't know what they're up against. We're up against, so maybe we Ponder on our second turn. Silver Bluff Bridge, so could be anything. I really don't want to face Wildfire. I'm kind of assuming that it's not, that it's something else. So let's keep these cards. And then no shuffle. If it's Jeskai Ephemerate, like a Wildfire deck, then I don't want to play the Chancery right away. Airless Landscape. It is a Jeskai Ephemerate deck. They're wildfiring their land. Well, we're in for a long one, everybody. Let's ponder. We have foil and ephemerate. Okay, so put the ephemerate back. Say no. Play the Chancery. We pick up the land. Pass. They play Archaeomancer for cleansing wildfire. I'm going to go ahead and say no to that. Discarding the flicker. Okay, and then I will play out my Archaeomancer and return my flicker or the ponder or the foil. Let's return the ponder. Get in for 0. I'd much rather their creature just not come back. Definitely cannot afford to let them have any number of Archaeomancers on the table. If they tap out again, I can snap my Faithful and then hardcast Lorien Revealed. So post board, we have a ridiculous amount of interaction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 cards we can bring in. We cycle a Lorien Revealed, getting a Volatile Fjord. They're passing, leaving open Counterspell. Have an Ephemerate. Let's ponder. So should I just make another land drop? Put the snapback, take the plains, and then get in for 1. If they want to bolt my creature, I can Ephemerate it. They grab their plains, casting an Augur of Bolas. There's a counterspell. Let's preordain. I don't think I want any of these cards. Double Ephemerate, huh? So let's cycle this Lorien Revealed and grab an island. Play the island. We're sort of in a holding pattern now. Our opponent's going to go. We have double Ephemerate to get back our cantrips and stuff, but we know they have Counterspell. Then they have 4 other mana. Our opponent's going to hardcast a Lorien Revealed. They already played a land. They did not play land. So let's attempt to Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. They have a Skred. I will Ephemerate again and get a Lorien Revealed. Cycle it for an island. They play an island. They could have Dispel now. We're going to rebound our Ephemerate onto the Mancer. Get back the Ephemerate. We have a Familiar. Land, Familiar, Ephemerate. Return Ephemerate. Ephemerate again. Return the foil. So now I have a cancel available. Our opponent goes for Lightning Bolt on the Archaeomancer. I'll use the Snap. So I guess they're going to have a counterspell either way. I guess I just have to let that resolve. Because we know that they have counterspell in hand. So my foil is not really useful because they'll just respond with a counterspell. We can Ephemerate the Familiar a couple times. Just to put the Ephemerates in the graveyard and not strain it forever in exile. All my flickers are in the graveyard now, which is bad. And they have a Thraben Charm. Okay. I don't really have any good ways to win, but my opponent's moving pretty slowly. I know I am behind on clock. That sucks, though. They wildfire their land. I can win if I find, like, TMAs and I find my Murmuring Mystic. More snaps is not really good. We're just passing. They have a Murmuring Mystic of their own. Oh, man. They have way too many cards in hand. I'll play a Familiar. I think I just lose here, though. We'll find out. They play a Rustvale Bridge. Best card I could draw. Okay, we found a Murmuring Mystic. They have 8 cards in hand now. We're playing Draw Go. I don't like my position whatsoever. They have a Brainstorm. They have way more mana than me. I should probably just go to the next game, to be honest. But staying ahead on clock and these kinds of things is good. And now my Murmuring Mystic, or my foil, is just a straight up counterspell. I think what I want to do is force them to make an action. They cast a Breath Weapon. Okay. Kills their birds. Do you have another Breath Weapon? Cast into the fire. Alright, I'll snap my Familiar. Then I'll snap my other Familiar. They have Counterspell and then 6 unknowns in hand. They wildfire their bridge. Okay. Ramping and drawing cards is pretty brutal. I'll block. We go to 25. I'll play a Familiar. Okay, that resolved. I'll play a Preordain. Go back to 26. Another foil. Okay, so I guess I keep both of these. I'll try another Familiar. They didn't do anything. So now I have double Counterspell. They scred my Familiar. Fine. Casting a Lorien Revealed. They got 8 cards in hand. I'm so far behind. We'll block. Okay, and I have a Muldrifter on top. Let's attempt to snap your Mystic. They Ephemerate their Murmuring Mystic. Okay. I will evoke a Muldrifter then. They use the counterspell. Okay. They're just making birds out the wazoo. Yeah, you have birds, you have birds, you have birds. I'm just gonna scoop. We're too far behind. I think I can win this game post-board, though. That Thraben Charm wrecked me. We want all of these cards, and we want a bunch of Pyroblasts, or Hydroblasts. Then I don't think I need the Faithfuls. Maybe I'll Mystic. I'm going to cut down to 2 snaps. I make 2 more cuts, so I'll cut 2 foils. I don't know if I need the Mystic. It's good to have a way to win the game, though. I want that 4-1. We have to make 2 post-board games in a row. Let's keep Island Ponder. Looking for Hydroblast, or a Prohibit, or a Negate. Let's Ponder. Okay, we found... Put the Chancery down. Familiar on top. They play a bridge. I'll play the Chancery. Picking up the island. I do have the foil available. I'll Preordain. Another Chancery. Snap is, like, not very good. I'll take the Chancery, though, because we want to make land drops in this kind of a pseudo mirror. They play an Augur of Bolus. Okay. Revealing a counterspell. Let's play Sunscape Familiar, play the island, pass the turn. Looks like they're passing. Okay. I will cycle, grabbing an island. They could bolt my thing now. They did. Let's play Chancery, pick up the island. Our opponent plays a Rustvale Bridge, getting in for 1. That's fine. We find a Hydroblast. Now I can kind of hang out. I'm making land drops, so I don't have to Deep Analysis right away. They Brainstorm. Playing another land. Cleansing Wildfire. How about a Hydroblast? Okay, that Hydroblast just resolves. My turn. Try Preordain. Another Hydroblast, so I'll top. They didn't have an answer to the Hydroblast previously. So we're slowly developing because I've made more land drops than them just due to the bounce lands. They're brainstorming. Plays a land, 5 mana available. Getting in for 1. I'll play... So I could use the Deep Analysis right now. I'll try the Deep Analysis. They counterspell it, it's kind of fine. They're going to Ephemerate their creature. Okay. Finding a Brainstorm. They counterspell my Deep Analysis. Let's play the island. Snap your Augur. That gets rid of the Ephemerate forever, which I think is pretty important. They're going to Hydroblast or Pyroblast. I'll counterspell. They have another Pyro. They spread their own thing. Okay. So they get to resolve their Brainstorm. Maybe they're looking to have like some big creature right now. Like maybe they could Lorien Reveal or something. We are shields down. They cast a Lorien Revealed. Yep. And a Wildfire on their own land. I can go Drifter, Flicker Drifter. I think I'm going to Deep Analysis first. Wander looking for an island. Found a Hydroblast. So I can Modern Age, discarding the Snap. Then I'll have Hydroblast available. But I should probably hold up. Let's play the Modern Age. I'll discard the Snap. I have a Hydroblast. Our opponent brainstorms. Looks like they're going to cast a Muldrifter or an Archaeomancer. They're just passing. Okay, so we now have the threat on the table with the Modern Age there. We're going to loot. Discarding the Flicker. Play the Familiar. We Archaeomancer trying to return the Flicker. They have a counterspell. Okay. Airless Landscape. So my foil is not going very well here. Playing Archaeomancer to return what? Counterspell? Returning Pyroblast. Well, I have Hydroblast. Let's see if we draw land. Draw Mortuary Mire. So I think I want to evoke the Muldrifter. Our opponent uses their Pyroblast. We have a Hydroblast. So it comes down to this spot, I think. If they have the Ephemerate and I have the foil and they don't have response. Maybe they do, though. There are a lot of times where the foil in this league would have been better as a prohibit or a counterspell. But I'm just addicted to having a 0 mana counter. They have a counterspell. We have a counterspell. I could have not countered and then waited till their turn to counter their next thing. They have a Pyroblast. Well, that did not go well. Mortuary Mire to get back the Archaeomancer. Pass the turn. So hopefully we can Mancer the Flicker. Of course, they have a Ephemerate or counterspell. It's brutal. Augur of Bolas. Finding a Skred. This is redonkulous. So let's play their Mancer. They play their counterspell. I'll cast my Lorien Revealed. Looking for negate here. They're going to kill my Familiar. This is stinky. Get in for 2. So let's see what they want to get back with their Ephemerate. Unfortunately, they have outplayed me. They drew only good cards. I drew kind of junky cards. They get back Counterspell. And they've got another Archaeomancer. Okay, GG. So that did not line up very well. If you want to beat Jeskai Ephemerate, you need to be playing a much better Counterspell suite, less aggro, I think, and probably just have more gas in your deck. If we'd had, I don't know, it just didn't work out. I do enjoy playing this version, but fighting against Jeskai is hard. We also got kind of creamed by Mono Red. It was good to play some FAMs though. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next video.